How was your holiday, Catherine?
It was great. Yeah. Feeling a little more rested.
Oh, good. Very good. My name.
Oh, you're good, you're good. I love your sweater.
Thank you.
It's really good on you.
It's always so cold in here.
Yeah, so I kind of wear a suit or a jacket.
Nice.
Thank you. Since the doctor's coming in the middle of the their dominance on my ear.
How did it go?
Oh, the doctor's fine.
Studious.
It went well.
Lisa, are you going to present from home? You going to present something? You going to share your screen?
I don't believe so. I think everything is in the packet.
Okay, good.
Just letting you guys know, I'm not trying to be rude, but I had my phone out and my son had his tonsils removed today, so I'm just making sure there's no emergency.
No worries. Yeah. If you need to take a call or do it.
Making sure like I don't get the 911 get home now.
And if you do, then
Yes. That's the priority.
Good.
okay.
Now his Tylenol, his fudge stickles, his chocolate pudding. I think he's loving all the chocolate that he's getting.
Yeah.
Is it outpatient?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So he's home.
Yeah.
Great. We're at 5:01. We're going to bring this meeting to order.
Put the lights up a little bit, please.
Do we have any additions or changes to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll vote to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion? Moved by Ian,
Second.
second by Emily. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Were you okay with that, Carrie? I've got it.
Thank you, Mike.
Oop, you're muted. There you go.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to troubleshoot here. I didn't hear
Okay.
anything that was said.
Oh, okay. You can hear us now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, we were just going over the agenda at the number 2 additions and changes. There were none, so we were approving the agenda. Everyone had voted aye, and how would you like to vote?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. So we will go on to public comment. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, we will move on to the next item, the approval of the minutes for November 3rd, 2025. Did anyone have anything they noticed on the minutes? I had one thing I noticed, and that is, should online participants be listed as part of the attendees?
Yes, but online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think
There is not a, yeah,
there were not.
okay.
Other than that, they looked good to me.
I'll raise a motion to approve.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes for November 3rd?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We have approved minutes. So we are on to current business. That would be updates from the business office.
Lisa, you're muted.
Can everyone hear?
Can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me
There you
now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry about that. So we just want to welcome our new members, Carrie and Belma. Thank you for taking part in this important committee. And please let us know if you ever have any questions. We are here to help you, acclimate to the reports, and there's a lot of detail and information. So anytime you have questions, please reach out. Other updates, we are in our final stages of our audit, our annual audit. We have not, our auditors have not identified any significant issues. And we expect to get drafts within the next couple weeks. We'll review those, and then they will do a presentation on the drafts, and the board will have an opportunity to ask questions and things. So things are moving along with that. Other than that, we are just plugging away in the office on budget development. Calendar year-end tasks are coming up, like our W-2s and 1099s and those types of things. Lots of reporting at the end of the year to the IRS and the state. We also are working on Time Clock Plus. For those of you who aren't aware of what that is, it's an electronic timekeeping system and leave management. We are a relatively large organization, and not unlike other districts, we still are using paper timesheets. But we really felt like it was time to, go automated. And so we have implemented Time Clock Plus. We're in the process of it. We have our leave management pretty much complete. So that implementation, I would say, is 95% complete. And now we're working on the electronic time clocking in, clocking out, and working with payroll to sync everything up. So that's moving along. And I think that's it in the area of the business office. The finance reports, I note here, and we'll talk a little further about those. But again, lots of detail. And if you ever have any questions, please reach out and email me. We also, in terms of the budget, have a community FAQ where you can ask questions, and that information is in our budget packet that is presented to the board tonight. So reach out. We also have a website that has lots of useful information regarding budget as well. Joanne, I don't know if you wanted to do community engagement information.
Yeah, we have that on the full board's agenda tonight.
Right.
So I think Emily and Ian and Jeff can update the board when that comes around. I did want to say, however, we also have an internal FAQ for board members and committee members. Correct, Lisa? So
Yes.
if you're in between the packet of information that you get, if you see something you have questions about, then we encourage you to post those questions, not because we want to answer your questions offline. It's just, it helps the administration create a response, because sometimes it takes some time to research those questions, and we want to be articulate when we respond to the questions that you have. But, certainly use that as an opportunity. If you see a warrant question, or you have something about the budget you want to ask, that would be a good way to communicate to the administration.
And then meeting dates and times, I believe Catherine had wanted to talk about that, but we can, do we want to go through the rest of the agenda?
Yeah, let's go through and we
Okay.
can discuss the meeting dates at the end,
Great.
please. So let's see, expense and revenue for fiscal year 26 currently.
Did anybody have any questions about the expense and revenues?
So everybody got a copy of that Excel sheet that you sent me, Lisa. So everybody can take a look. I had a discussion quickly with each of the members about which part of the budget they'd be most interested in. And I did get some feedback back from them. But there's still some I have not heard back from. And then I just had one thing I noticed that I just wanted to ask you about. In some of the lines, there's things that are listed as teacher salaries, and it looks like they haven't been paid out yet at all. Are we missing teachers in those lines where it looks like an example is Barrytown's music teacher? It looks like the part of the range to date is there. There's an encumbrance, but there's a 0% in the budget balance.
So are you, okay, so in the music teacher salary line, what that's saying is that we are fully spending down that line item. There is no balance because it's encumbered. What we do when people are paid through salaries and contracts, we can encumber those payments and benefits so that it's going to show there is no balance. And that way we have a really good sense of where we are in terms of projecting out for the year.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that was just a question that came up when I was going through it.
Yeah,
and then
good question.
another question I had was for the potential grant funded positions that we're looking to put into the general fund, do they have health care through this, under the school's umbrella health care? Is that considered part of our?
They are contracted employees. They're covered by the BEA.
Mhm.
They have all of the salary and benefit requirements of other teachers,
Okay.
Correct.
as well as retirement. Correct, Lisa?
Yes.
Yeah.
If they're a teacher, they have visitors. Yes.
Let's see. Was there anything anybody else saw when they were looking?
Again, I know it's a lot of information, a lot of detail, and that's why please reach out if you want to even just review it with me.
I was tasked the grant, but there's no grant that I found in this budget. Was I looking wrong? Is that separate from this budget?
Did you hear that, Lisa?
That's correct. The grants are not in your general fund budget.
Okay.
I did have a question about that too, actually. There was the one grant that was and I just wanted to make sure that I was understanding it correctly. The York scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
So we took money out of that scholarship for the instructor, correct? Was that?
It's not the scholarship. No, we were given a separate grant.
It was separate.
It was a separate grant fund,
Okay.
correct, Lisa?
Yes.
For the
So
STEM teacher at Spalding High School.
It's from the same foundation that also administers a scholarship.
Separate grant, same foundation.
Yes. Yeah.
So I want to make sure I'm looking at this correctly. For the Barry Unified Union Grant Funds with the list of all the different grants, and it has fiscal year 26 award and expenses. So those are expenses to date as of 10/27/25. Make sure.
I didn't quite hear. Did you hear that question, Lisa?
yes. So the date that it is, I believe, if that's when I presented that information to the finance committee, that's what I gave you, the grant report.
And do any of these grants have deadlines of when the money needs to be used by?
Almost everyone has a deadline of June 30th
Okay.
of the fiscal year. Yes.
Good question. Do we know what the cost of the grant-funded positions that we're looking to move into the fund are?
Yes, it was in Lisa's last report, and I believe it's in the amount of under $1 million. The grant-funded positions, 800, it was in Lisa's last report.
Okay, I think I do remember
In our
seeing
board
that.
packet,
And in the board
I think it's
packet,
like
because we have a running
835.
summary, it's something like that. It's in the 800s.
For the positions for,
We fund approximately, I don't know, I'm gonna say 8 to 11 positions in our separate different grants. And we know that we're going to be receiving less federal dollars going forward. And in fact, one of Lisa's last reports was showing you the reduction, our anticipated reduction in revenue, which is mostly grants. These positions have been funded for many years, and we don't want to lose them, because if we do, it means lack of instruction for kids that need extra help. So most districts don't use grant money to fund people because those grants go away, but Berry has had a long history of doing that. So one of the strategies we'd like to see in this budget development process is slowly but intentionally moving some of these positions over into the general operating budget so they're secure, at least as secure as our adopted and voted in budget can be.
makes sense. Thank you.
And what is unfunded special ed?
Unfunded, well, I'm gonna let you do that because I may have a different answer, Lisa. Unfunded special ed. Special ed has never been funded to the extent that was promised to the states. So when I use the word unfunded special education, the formula has always been less than what was originally promised to us. Do you want to add to that?
Where was the term used? Unfunded.
Was in the packet from, I think, our last meeting.
Okay, so as Joanne said, the general fund has to support our special ed services as well as our categorical. We receive a census-based block grant for special ed, as well as extraordinary reimbursement. That's for students whose services exceed over $60,000+. We receive a portion of reimbursement back. Triple E, we have some funding for Triple E, but anything above and beyond, this general fund has to support that.
But it sounds like it's not what was promised originally.
Back in the 60s, when special ed first became an issue, the federal government had promised 100% funding of special education.
Oh.
That has never been the case.
Okay.
so we're always making up that gap of
Local dollars are, yes.
what's federally mandated for us to provide.
Yes. And we get state
locally-
funding too, but
right.
it's nowhere near.
It's not 100%.
Excuse me,
Yes,
can I ask you a question?
you may.
Of the 9 grant-funded positions that the grant money's going away, how many of those grant positions were funded through ESSER then were moved into grants?
I would have to be specific, Paul, I'd have to research that. Not all of them, because the consolidated federal grant, the Title I grants have supported some. I'd have to break those down for you, and I'm happy to do that. I just don't have the information right now.
Maybe I can help because some of the ESSER positions that we created came out of grant positions, so we can use the grant elsewhere. So it was almost like a double dipping.
Oh, I see what you mean. Some were moved from the grants to ESSER funds.
Exactly.
Yes, I understood that happened, which made it,
And then when ESSER went away,
Yeah.
we left them as.
That's right.
With those grants.
Yeah.
Now, we're saying that there are 9 grant-funded positions that are going away. There were 2 things that occurred. One was, it was understanding that when we hired people when they were underneath ESSER-funded grant positions or with the grants, that if the grants went away, the positions went away. And then
Right.
we moved away from that. And right now, you're talking about an $875,000 increase in the general fund to pick up what is more grant monies that are starting to go away.
So let me be clear that in the budget summary and the original program level budget, those positions were not included. The second part of the summary was, should we include those federally funded positions, your budget would go up a couple of percentage points. But
The only reason why I bring it up, Joanne, is
Yeah.
because we are talking about grant fund positions being absorbed into a budget if we go to the second level.
I didn't quite hear that last, I'm sorry.
We're talking about grant funded positions that are going to go away because it won't be grant monies that the board may consider in the second go round of adding into the budget.
Yes.
I'll take Lindsay, then I'll take you. Lindsay, go ahead with your question.
So the money, like this is just general funds. So we spend over $800,000 on special education out of the general fund that we do not receive money from the state for.
No.
Can I just clarify something? So just to be clear, the 875,000 of those are coaches and interventionists. Those grant funds are not necessarily going away. What the intention is to gradually move these positions that are very necessary out of grant funds because we anticipate that we will receive much less money, and to use those funds for other, important things and professional development and other supplemental resources.
Special ed is a whole different conversation, Lindsay, and there are some positions in special education grants that we receive. We do not anticipate moving those positions into our general fund. They will remain in grant funding at this time.
So, but the budget information that was provided for tonight then is not just the general fund dollars. This includes more than just the general ed. Or the general fund, I mean. Because you were just saying that there were some dollars not included in the budget because it was a grant, that what we were looking at was only the general fund dollars. But that's not true. We're really looking at the whole budget.
I think we're getting
Not
like a
sure I
little bit
understand.
ahead of ourselves and a little off track. Like I think a lot of what we're discussing now is part of a board conversation that's going to happen later. So maybe
Well, I was just following up on what she had said about it not including the grant funds, but it includes all the expenses, total expenses, no matter where the money to pay for them comes from.
The general fund does not include grant funds.
But the detailed
hand up
budget
online.
document that was provided, that includes all the expenses, even some expenses that will be covered by some grant funds that come in.
No, it does not. It's only general fund in the budget detail document.
So then we're going to spend 820, almost 824,000 in special education out of the general fund.
We're going to discuss putting that into the general fund from a grant.
But it's not special ed.
On page 60, that's what it says for the total proposed budget for special ed.
Those are general fund expenses. That doesn't include IDEA expenses, which is also special ed expenses, but they're not in the general fund. Those IDEA grant funds are in a different fund, not the general fund.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
One moment.
Thanks.
We'll get to Emily next. She was waiting.
Thanks. Actually, Lisa answered my question because I think there was like a little confusion. Like, we're not talking about positions going away. We're just talking about different funding opportunities for these positions. Just don't want people to think that we're talking about losing staff or I think that's important to know.
And is there someone else online?
There was Sonia online with her hand up.
No, Lisa answered my question. Thank you.
Okay. And yes.
So I need a clarifying answer. The $875,000 that's being talked about going into the general fund, those grants have not gone away.
Have not. However, we expect a significant reduction. And if you remember what happened last summer, we thought a couple of $100,000 was in question. And because it was in question, we weren't getting anywhere with the federal government about whether the grant allocations that were promised to us would be actually given to us. So that is the situation that we're in right now, but we are anticipating less money in our Title I funds and some of the other consolidated federal grant monies. And so with that in mind, we would like to talk about migrating some of those grant funded positions in the general fund. That has not been made. That is not a decision that the board has made. It is a suggestion that the administration has on the table.
Do you have another question?
Well, I'm just a little concerned that we're talking about the board agenda items and not necessarily what's on our agenda. So I'm just not sure how to get back on track there because we're going to have a discussion later about these problems.
Your point's taken, but we're discussing expense and revenue, and anything relating to expense and revenue is totally okay for us to discuss.
100%.
Is there any other, Nancy, did you have another question?
Yes, I do have a question. I just wanted clarity on, I think it was Joanne Canning made the response on the question was about grant fund positions, and they currently, if they're grant funded positions, they do qualify for health care and any other benefit, or were you making the statement that if these positions go into the general fund, they will qualify?
They have always qualified wherever the source of funding is. Those are positions that come along with benefits like any other negotiated agreement teacher, or if they are in another category, we do offer benefits to other employees who are not covered by our associations.
Okay, so it doesn't matter where the funding comes for. If they're working for the district, then they qualify for benefits, whether
Correct.
it's, okay, excellent. Are any of these grant funded positions absolutely new positions, or they're existing right now?
They are not new positions. They are all in existence. Now, to tell you how long they've been with us, I can research that. I do not know, but they are not new positions.
Okay, and then my last question is on your 3 instructional coaches. What is the ratio of teachers to coaches?
Ooh, that's a good question. I will tell you this, it's more than the PICUS report. So if that report has any value to anyone, please understand that we have many more teachers that are working with our coaches than is recommended in the PICUS report. I can get that answer if you'd like, Nancy.
I would love to have an answer on that. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
And then was that summer school funded by grants, or was that funded through our general fund?
It was all, from what I understand, and correct me because I've said this over and over again, as far back as the people who've been here, been doing this work, our summer schools have been funded by grants.
Okay.
Right.
Great. Did we have, oh, what, Lindsay, yeah, sorry.
So why was it that summer school then used to be in the general fund budget up until it was removed?
Lisa, can you answer that? I'm not aware that it has.
So, summer school was never in the general fund. It has always been funded through either Title I, Medicaid, or
ESSER.
other sources, ESSER.
It got moved to ESSER the last year or two that we had summer school. But prior to that, it was coming out of the general fund.
It was not.
Well, it was in the legislature.
Did we have any other questions? All right. Thank you so much, Lisa.
You're welcome.
All right, and then we've got, looks like fiscal year 27 proposed budget draft 1.
Again, this is something that the board is going to discuss, but in terms of how this is reported out, we have this very detailed report that shows you the FY25 budget, 25 actuals, 26 budget. The year to date is helpful as well of the current year, and then the proposed FY27 budget lines.
Emily.
And right now this is the proposed budget that we're looking at is a level program funded, right? There's none of the things that the board is looking at yet have been added to this. So it's just kind of our programming carried forward.
Exactly.
Correct. It's currently at a 3.41% increase, and that's a $1.9 million increase.
Okay, did we have any questions? Yes, Mr. Malone.
What is the proposed allotment in the first proposed part of the budget, the 1.9? What percentage are you using for contract negotiations, Lisa?
We can't answer that, Paul.
I meant what she has in the budget.
I understand you're asking that, but I can't answer negotiations questions at this point.
But we have a number in the budget.
We do have a number in the budget, and that would be like providing information to the public before we've negotiated.
We've never done that before, but it's interesting supposition. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in every district I've been in, you don't reveal your cards before you come to the table.
So then is the budget number that we have 0 in it?
No, it does not have 0 in it.
So what number is that what, I mean, I guess, so it's there, but we can't talk about it?
No.
I don't know. It's interesting.
We have a number placeholder, and I can provide that information to the board in the executive session.
All right, sure. Yes.
It's tricky because we are negotiating all of our contracts right now at the same time. So we have to hold all of this space, and it seems kind of secretive, right? But we have to be really careful of how we go forward because we can't reveal too much information.
Yeah, that's just
So
the nature of contract negotiations and union negotiations, and it happens on both sides.
right, everyone's kind of keeping their information close right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Lindsay, thank you.
So for ESY, out of the general fund, it's going to be over $100,000 that we don't get money to cover the costs for. So it's over 100,000 for ESY out of the general fund.
So the overall special ed expenses are somewhere in the area of about $16 million. And we receive reimbursement through the census block grant, and that's about 5.1 million. We also receive extraordinary, which is the students who have high expenses. We have state place student expenses that are embedded in our budget. And then the IDEA grant is outside of that, but I've included all of the special ed expenses in that $16 to $17 million. That includes transportation, student tuition, all those.
So is that what comes out of the general fund for ESY?
That is included in that $16 to $17 million number. Yes.
Looking at page.
We don't budget separately for summer school, Lindsay. It's embedded in the lines.
ESY is, it's on page 49. Previously, regular general ed summer school was embedded in with general instruction. The ESY was, well, is
General summer school has been paid through grants, different grants like Title I, school-wide, Medicaid, ESSER. And ESY services are embedded in the general fund.
but we get money for ESY.
We get a percent of our total special ed cost that's funded through the federal government, also funded through state funds, and the rest is covered in the general operating budget.
But so we do get reimbursed for the ESY funds that are.
It all included, Lindsay. There's no particular line item that gets budgeted or not budgeted for. It's part of the entire cost to run special education.
Okay. Do we have any other questions before we move on? Nope. Okay. Very good. So we'll move on to 5.3, community engagement.
Oh, give me one moment. I pull up my notes. I'm a little slow on the upchuck today. Sorry, it was horrible. So we basically met up with, I think, last week.
Right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right before Thanksgiving. And basically we're talking through basically how we're going to engage as a community. And basically we're talking about basically how we're going to frame the meeting and the modalities of how we're going to host the meeting, whether it's going to be in person, a virtual meeting, and a hybrid option, which currently we're leaning towards a hybrid option for this. And that we're going to create something of a survey to go out to parents to get basically just get an idea of where the area of greater engagement is needed and connect with them. And then, because one of the things that we found is that we really need to get better engagement with the parent community the parents of our students, so we can better meet the needs of our students, because the only person closer to our students is, well, the people who are raising them. So we need to partner with them, and this is a good way to start that, so we can understand their priorities. And so basically we're going to create 3 sessions where we will have them, where there'll be 3 questions that are going to be basically informed by our vision and the mission of what we're trying to accomplish here. And we're just going to listen to what they have to say, so we can better inform our decision making from their priorities. And so yeah, that's where we're at. And please thank you all for your forgiveness of my scatterbrained approach to this.
I think that's great. Ian, that was a really good summary of our meeting. We're talking about creating a board listening session and a survey to go along with that if people can't make it. One of the indicators of student achievement and student outcome is parent, family, and caregiver support and involvement in the school. So it's really important to us to engage with that community.
All right. Any questions for Ian and Emily? Nope. Okay. All right, we'll move on to 5.4. So we'll talk about meeting days and times and whether we think we should change it, if we need a second meeting. I know when each of the new members came on, I was interested to see what your availability was, and you both sounded like you were pretty open. I just worry about the Monday meetings running tight. If there's anything that ever goes over, because we usually start to get people for the board meeting a few minutes beforehand, and we might be in the middle of something. We were doing Mondays previously because we had a member who could only meet Mondays. So we're a little bit less constrained. That was the only member I think that had to meet Monday. So how does everyone feel about doing an extra meeting? Or switching days, or both?
I personally would prefer to keep the schedule the way it is until we reorg in March. That's really only January and February, 2 more meetings. And then in March, we'll reorg, and maybe the makeup of the committees will change. And then we could maybe have a more detailed discussion about if we need longer times or how effective the committees are. That would be my vote, to just kind of keep it the same. I also have a really busy schedule, and all my childcare and stuff is arranged so that this works for me. I understand there's other people, of course, but that's my preference.
Okay, no, that's good.
So on this right now, I have everything arranged for the Mondays before workout, great. I will strike a middle ground in that I think that maybe we maintain what we have going on where we have scheduled Monday meetings, but we also keep the flexibility to have a second meeting for anything we can't have. That will be a virtual meeting. That way we have that flexibility. So if it's needed, it isn't as big of an imposition for any of the members of the committee to attend. So so usually I'm thinking that we should know by say, well, right now it's 5:45, that I'd say right now is where we would know, hey, we've got more work to be, and then we can just have a designated, I'm just gonna pull a date out of my backside of Thursday at 6 p.m. I'm not saying that time works. I'm just, for instance, that we just have a specified day of the week and a time just as a placeholder for that Zoom call or whatever.
a special meeting, we could warn a special meeting
Exactly.
as needed.
As needed, that we can just figure out 15 minutes before the,
That's a good middle ground.
I agree.
so,
We'd have to find out under open meeting law if we can have fully remote meetings. I can't remember.
The committee can.
The committee can.
You are
Okay.
not operating under the full board's
Okay.
requirement, but all committees can run virtually if that's what you choose.
And would that be open to everyone, or would it
Yes.
just be committee?
No, it would be an open meeting,
Open
like,
meeting.
for all of the public to participate.
Okay, yeah. Good.
and how much warning do we need to give for these special meetings?
For special meetings, it's different than a regular meeting, which requires the 5-day notice.
Okay.
I believe we can do it in 48 hours.
Okay, perfect.
You have a less,
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't
Period of
remember the nuance.
Yep.
So,
So if we did do a second meeting, what day works good for everybody?
Mondays.
okay, so the following Monday.
Other than Monday, or we could do another Monday,
Yeah, like the following Monday at 5.
the second Monday?
Yeah. That way it's just not as big of an issue for any of our existing schedules.
Okay,
I do have a facilities meeting, but if I can meet with Jamie ahead of time, I can delegate that night to him. And if I need to be there, I could split my time.
okay.
Okay.
Second Monday. Does that work for you, Carrie?
Mondays actually work so good for me.
Okay, good. All right.
Rock on.
Yeah.
Second Mondays, would the same time work?
Yes, that would be perfect.
Okay. All right.
And it gives us ample time to give notice and whatever.
Yeah.
Looks like we've got a plan. Fantastic. All right. And moving on. Next meeting.
I think we accomplished the heck out of everything we set out to do on this meeting.
So, and we still have 14 minutes. January
Rock on.
5th, 2026. So that's going to be getting awfully close to the end of budget cycle. But we're having our meeting tonight with the full board.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss more. And I think it's been productive. So thank you, Lisa, for all your input. Thanks to the new members showing up. You can probably make a motion to adjourn if there's nothing else pressing.
So moved.
All right. Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Meeting is adjourned, 5:47 p.m.
And that's why you don't see too many horses on the school board, because they're always saying nay to motion.